So as you guys know that I like to dive into human psychology, and I do believe that I have a good understanding about it. So I follow this doctor, Dr. Nicole Lepera, even though I myself have good understanding about psychology, but there are very other few people also who can articulate their thoughts and understanding about it in really good way, and she's one of them. And there's a post from her yesterday that I would like to analyze. It's a really good post, and it's about a child, specifically a daughter. So I'll read the post and I'll share my thoughts on it later on. So the post is: the angry daughter has been labeled the difficult one in the family. Really? The most unheard? The angry child daughter grew up with a parent who was almost always frustrated with her. This parent was short tempered and critical. They let her know that she was too much. Even though her anger was real, it was dismissed. She started to feel like something was wrong with her. She was the only person in the family willing to speak the truth, to acknowledge what was happening, and to stand up for herself. But instead of being seen as a brave and empowered, she was compared to her siblings. They were easy. She was asked why she couldn't be easy like them. Her anger got deeper and deeper. She became hyper vigilant, always looking for a sign she was wronged. She became hyper vigilant, always looking for a sign if she was wronged. She seemed assertive and confident. But the truth was, she had years of pain and grief from never being seen, heard, or valued for who she was. Her nervous system lived in fight or flight. She stopped fully expressing herself in her relationships. She'd learned that she wasn't safe. Vulnerability would mean she'd be rejected and shamed. She stopped trusting herself and other people. After all, she was the problem child, the one no one wanted to deal with. She felt completely alone, even with family around her. Her body started showing the anger she'd repressed for long. Through migraines and stomach aches and mystery symptoms, her doctor told her that she didn't have. Her body knew she's angry for a reason. She was never seen as the sensitive, loving, and honest person she actually is. She's angry because she's grieving a lifelong of being misunderstood. She's angry because she's grieving a lifetime of being misunderstood. So this was the post. You all heard it. So I'm not going to analyze. It's in a form of a thread. I'm not going to analyze it going one by one, reading the thread. But I'm simply going to share my thoughts on it. So it highlights a very good aspect that is not usually discussed, which is the child that is misunderstood, and how the misunderstood child feels unseen, and the misunderstood child is often mislabeled as well, because nobody is able to understand them. They interpret their actions, their gestures, their thoughts wrongly. They normally, what happens is, parents assume them to be arrogant, to be having anger issues, or maybe stubborn, whereas all the child has been asking for is to be understood. So there are many reasons why such a situation arises, but the most common fundamental reasons are that the parents are not mature enough, they are not wise enough, and they are just programmed beings of this materialistic world, without having the spiritual composition required to raise and understand children. Um, they don't have the wisdom to do so. So basically they are not able to see what they are supposed to see in a child, which is that a child is a soul, a small being that is growing up in a body, and they are supposed to nourish it, not bring the soul down by their constant criticism and you know things like that. So what happens is that the reality of the world is that there are some things, I say that courage and being brave is not just what is understood in the modern world, which is courage is like confronting someone physically or confronting someone, standing up for yourself, things like that. But courage can be many other things as well. To be able to stand up against the norms of society and be kind to people, because kindness is sometimes not accepted by society. I'll give you an example. So normally the society expects that the children will be, doing better in terms of material success, in terms of monetary success. They'll be either doing better than their parents or at least be as good as them, or be, so that kind of pressure is always, as soon as the child starts going to school, the parents' immediate attention goes towards the fact that how they are doing in school. They do not try to analyze what are the likings and dislikings of the child, how the child is actually in nature. Is he a sensitive child, or is the child very caring in nature, or is the child inclined towards studies? Or they don't even pay attention to the child. As soon as the child starts to go to the school, they start to analyze the child in terms of feedback from what they are getting from the school. So what happens is they want the child to succeed in this materialistic world, and they create so much of pressure, and their sibling rivalry, who is doing well in school, and everything becomes around that. And if someone this used to be the case when it was just about material success and monetary success. Now, since the time social media has come in, or since the time that like marriage was earlier so much important in the society, that because of marriage there used to be pressure of looking good, of like, even though the things might not have been in child's control, the child was pushed towards being perfect. So that was some kind of pressure to be, fit, to be looking good, to be this and that. And now in the modern world, that kind of pressure has been created by the social media craze, that you need to look good to be able to succeed. You need to have good looks, good physique to become an influencer, which is the source of easy income these days. You need to, if you have these looks, you succeed in life, even in corporate world and all that. That those kind of things. So basically, what happens is someone who has that gets the attention and love of the parents, and a child who might not have had that, a silent disliking, a subconscious disliking develops towards that child from the parent. The child is able to, feel that feeling, to feel that vibe from them. And the child, when the child feels that vibe, the child starts to, like do things subconsciously, or starts to want more love from them. And each time the child tries, the expectations are expectations are not met by the parents. The child feels abandoned, the child feels bad, and that seeps into the child's psyche, that I'm not being loved, and it impacts the child's mind as they grow up. They feel unsafe, unloved, unheard, not seen, just like an object. So these things, these are like very important aspects. Your mental psyche is everything, and your material success is just part of your life. You can be very successful one day and something bad can happen, and everything can go away. But your psyche, like that is supposed to be that is supposed to be made good by your parents. So at least they should do their job well.